Hello again. Here's what I was saying about too many empty spaces. K1 Mart and Deli. This place was a staple of the community for years back before I was born. Every single building or shop in this building is empty. And we're still along that main stretch here, but we're getting into the poorer parts of town now. See, we're on Broadway. Hudson's just over a block to the right, if I believe, and then 2 blocks down, because we're approaching 10th, Hudson and 8th is a Hudson Hotel, if memory serves. I'm afraid every town has its low-income spots. And one of the things I always dreamed about, oh, we look a little too well, when I was a kid, was I wanted to win the lottery. And I wanted to win the lottery for one reason only. I wanted to get the biggest moving van I could find. And mind you, I didn't realize how big the lottery was back then, so this was not the most realistic of goals. I wanted to find the biggest moving van I could, fill it with canned goods, and then I wanted to fill every food cupboard in town. Starting, of course, with the one at my church, which we called the fish cupboard, but every food cupboard in town. Because I've known a lot of poor people. I've never exactly been wealthy myself. When I was 15, my lunches consisted of an orange, a piece of string cheese, and a cheese or bologna sandwich with 1 slice of cheese or 1 slice of bologna. And if we had enough money to spare, a little Debbie snack. So I never starved, but I was hungry. And it wasn't for lack of trying, especially on my mother's part. Poor Mom after the divorce. Mom worked so hard to take care of us kids. It was about 15 or 16 that things actually went through with the divorce. Mom and Dad didn't separate till, I think it was 16 that the divorce happened, and 15 when they separated. I have grass in my glasses, there we go. But I remember Mom worrying about how she was going to be able to find a house that wasn't falling apart and that was big enough. How she was going to be able to afford one. And I also remember saying, well, I'll go to work and I'll help you with something if you need it. She's like, well, but then I wouldn't be able to pay for it myself after you left. It's like, well, I'll still help. Family's a big deal in my life, if you can't tell. That's what we were all raised around, was family. If you've ever heard it takes a tribe or a village/tribe to raise a child, that was our motto. When I was 27, between both sides of my family, I had 27 younger cousins. Just younger cousins. Now, I'm almost 32, and I think we're back up to 32, but now it's not just younger cousins, it's younger cousins and or nieces/nephews. I can't even keep track of them anymore. I gave up on birthdays ages ago. My grandma Margaret kept a calendar that she wrote everyone's birthday down on, and to make sure she didn't forget, she wouldn't throw away last year's calendar until she transferred all the birthdays to the next one. And she didn't like most calendars that you bought because they didn't have enough space, so she had me print out special ones for her the last few years. Coming up here is Peace Health Medical Center, or whatever it is. I think it used to be the old hospital back before I was born. My mom's first job that I remember was there. Her first job, I believe, was at Ernst until my older sister was born. But when I was a kid, she worked over there. She worked for Parents' Place. Pardon me again. I don't know if it was the plums I ate or the lunch meat, but I apologize. Something is making me gassy today. Yeah, she taught things like babysitting class and stuff over here. I don't know if I actually broke my nose, but it's why I got my first bloody nose one day. Mom was working and they had those little plastic, I'm gonna say snap together play sets, you know, that had little holes you could climb through and slides you could attach. They weren't very big, but I was sitting on the side one day and I don't remember exactly what happened, but I lost my balance and tipped over right on my face. I don't know who. Boy, that does not feel good. I tell you what, I picked myself up off the floor screaming and crying for Mom. The funny thing is, I don't remember that as a bad memory. It was, you know, it's a memory of my mother and my past. And I guess my sense of nostalgia kind of overrides the pain that was involved with the memory. And pain's been a lifelong thing for me. My first memory of life is crying myself to sleep because of how badly my knees hurt. Because of the loose joints I picked up from my mom's side of the family mostly, but also my dad's. I think you can't really see it way back there. That tall building, I think, is a apartment complex, but it's mainly aimed at older folk. It has an amazing river, Cowlitz River. We don't have, actually, if you get to the right side of town, we do have a view of the Columbia, quite the good view of the Columbia, although it's better from the Oregon side in Rainier, because Rainier is just this giant hill. And most of our Columbia Riverside is filled with mills and port, so you don't get to see much unless you're going over the Lewis and Clark Bridge, I think it is. That's quite the impressive span, more height-wise than distance. We are walking down 7th right now towards the Cowlitz County Fairgrounds. Oddly enough, Kelso, poor little Kelso, is the Cowlitz County seat. We're one of the oldest towns, and at the time, we were a pretty bustling town. In fact, I don't remember all the details, but there is actually a letter one of my great-great-grandfathers, I think, or great-great-uncle, somebody, wrote to one of my other family members who lived up in Alaska at the time, telling them they should come down here, that Kelso was a huge growing city with plenty of jobs. Some of my family members had been gold prospectors and stuff up in the Klondike and stuff back in the day, or somewhere around there. I don't remember if it was the Klondike specifically, but they dabbled a lot. We have very interesting family background. Very, very varied. Very varied. A little redundant. This is an interesting tree. Not entirely sure what it is. It's sure hanging down well enough, though. Pampas grass. Nasty stuff. Cut you to ribbons. But if you have full-length jeans and nylon jacket, makes a marvelous hiding space if it's a tall enough bush and you back yourself in. My best friend growing up lived right above me, just on the other side of the little forest we had above us. Had a big thing of pampas grass, and we always tried to make the place we'd start hide and seek far enough away that one of us could hide in there without being heard by the person that was it. because it was a great hiding space, and if you listened carefully, and you had to listen very carefully because it distorted sound, something awful when you were inside. If you listened carefully, you could tell when they were far enough away and you could get back to base safely while they were chasing someone else. Look at that guy's bark, it's peeling straight off. Looks like something out of Fern Gully. Fern Gully. Mother's milk. I'd say name that movie, but I kind of gave the name away already. Hey, my fiance would love it. Look, it's a pink house. I'm not sure she'd care for the trim color, but the pink's just about right. Fairgrounds are coming up, and I'm not good at this. These people, you can see right there, have the lions out front of their driveway. I always liked those. We've got one person lives on Ocean Beach. They've got a dragon on their front porch. Oh, I'm gonna have to walk that way sometime so I can get a proper look at him. Well, he's another thing I've only ever seen driving by. Oh, those are new additions. We've got two lions there too. Combination of stuff. Very pretty though. Here's the fairgrounds coming up. Nothing going on right here. Now Fairwheel is 2.5 weeks ago, I think. It's really empty. Doesn't do anything. We'll get... I don't know if we get the circus anymore. We used to when I was a kid. But I can't rightly think of having seen one in a long time. We get monster truck rallies, probably about once a year. Maybe not. It feels like it's a yearly thing. I think we've got a rodeo. Oh, gotta take off my hat. Market every Sunday, I think. Maybe it was Saturday, maybe it was both. Another buddy of mine when I was growing up, his parents have a little nursery, just like 3 greenhouses or something, good sized greenhouses, but only the handful. And that's where they do most of their business. I helped them a couple times over the years. His mom was a bus driver. His dad was my first boss. Never worked for family and or friends. That may as well be family. Things don't turn out well. I don't get to talk to him much anymore. He ended up going down to Arizona for school. And I don't remember why. He was going for computers. Eventually gave up on that. Now he's graduated as a psych major. I started as a psych major, ended up going back for computers. Of course, the reason I gave up psych was due to the school. I was non-research, and they were trying to close down the non-research portion of the department. They just wanted the research students, because boy, they were making a lot of money off grants for that. And I wasn't interested. So they kept trying to take my financial aid away every bloody semester, sorry. I should have known too. I should have seen the signs when I first applied there. They lost my financial aid information 6 times. 2 times. The last 2 times it had been faxed to them, and they still somehow managed to lose it. How dense could I be, right? I ended up missing the first 2 weeks of every semester because of financial aid issues, and they'd never let me do makeup work. My GPA went down, down, and down. years. I'm rambling again, aren't I? And unfortunately, I discovered too late that I was in the wrong part of the field anyways. I was just going for general psych. I'd wanted to be a school counselor because I like working with kids. But the general psych wasn't as fascinating to me. I did psych because I'd always had a knack with people and understanding them and who they were and what made them tick, and it seemed a natural place to go. But after I got back, I got a job at Dollar Tree in the warehouse, and a buddy of mine had just had a kid like a month after he started, maybe right when he started. And sorry, I had to push my glasses up. And his little boy was a month older than my niece. And I found out over the next 2 years, as I watched them grow, what truly fascinated me was the developmental psych in children, because both these kids were very, very bright. But it's like my buddy's boy. He understood everything you said. And, well, no, he didn't understand everything, but he was bright. But he was speaking full sentences by the time he was 2. I mean, it wasn't, what you're used to hearing, and his vocabulary wasn't off the charts, but complete sentences, proper sentence structure, everything. My niece, on the other hand, didn't speak anything except gibberish. She was... You always hear about kids and the goo goo gaga and people talking to them in cartoons like that. That was my niece's actual language. You had no idea what... Actually, Mom knew what she was saying. Nobody else knew what she was saying. But you could watch her, and it was obvious she knew what she was saying. She'd use the exact same phrase every time. If you asked her what she'd said, she'd repeat verbatim what she just said. We didn't know what it meant, didn't have a clue. But to her, it was a perfect language. And it didn't matter what you asked her, as long as you were speaking in relatively young kid-friendly terms. She knew what you wanted. Very bright young girl. But they developed so differently despite being nearly the same age. And I found that absolutely fascinating. But by the time I realized that's where I should have gone, I was already starting back into computers, and computers are what I'd actually wanted to do. I just let my mom talk me out of them because computers were still considered kind of hokey back when I was in high school. Nobody was sure if they were actually going to go anywhere beyond just a simple game platform and word processing. Well, nobody around here. People in the field probably did, but we were mostly a logging and mill town, so it was kind of an unknown in these parts. Here's the Master Gardener's display garden. They've got coolest thing right up here. Apple trees look nice too, and they've got some nice yellow ones, but that's not what we're going to show you. And this is, you may call me a weirdo at this. I'm sure my fiance would. Thankfully, she thinks I'm a cute weirdo, but look at this, look at this. There's a little bench and table in there, and they're grapevines. There's actual... Oh, nope, they picked them. Nope, they're still there, they're still there. Let's see if we can zoom in and find them. There they are, look, grapes. Isn't that the coolest thing? Okay, that's my weirdo moment. We're going to cross the street, and I'm going to, pardon me again, call this video good, because I have just about reached my destination for the moment. So until next time, folks, good day and good luck.